Have you ever found yourself waiting for something and wishing God would just speak to you? Have you ever wanted Him to explain what's happening, to pull back the curtain and reveal how everything is unfolding? We live in a time that makes waiting incredibly hard. Our instant culture makes it difficult for us to be patient. We don't handle waiting well, do we? But the truth is, everyone is waiting for something. What if waiting wasn't something we just endured, but a gift from God? What if God used the waiting period to teach us about faith? A God who provides instant answers doesn't require any faith from us. What if God intended to reveal something about our hearts, lives, character, and nature during the waiting? What if instead of dismissing or rushing through waiting, we embraced it? Waiting isn't wasted if we invite Jesus into it. God is at work in our lives, possibly even more so when we don't see Him answering our prayers as we expected. Is it possible that God is working all around us, even if we don't recognize it? Could it be that we miss God's plan because it doesn't align with ours? It's completely normal for God to be doing great things when it seems like He's doing nothing. Let me emphasize this. It's normal for God to be performing amazing acts when we perceive no activity. If you haven't noticed, God usually doesn't reveal His plans to us. Why doesn't He? Maybe because if we knew His plans, we might try to veto them, or we'd be terrified, or we'd want to alter them. Instead, God works in our lives and says, I'm going to do this, even if it sometimes looks like nothing is happening to us. Sometimes things look good and sometimes they look bad, but I'm going to do what needs to be done. You won't always know where it will lead. I'm just asking you to live the next moment the right way. When you do, I'll give you the next moment and then another. You won't know the end result, which means there will be times when you might feel like saying, God, this is unfair and wrong. I don't see you working. Just because God hasn't revealed His plan doesn't mean He's not working on it. Many of us say we trust God and His plan, believing He has our best interests at heart. The hard part is trusting His timing. Patience and waiting on God imply that we trust His timing, which is why waiting can be difficult. But you know what's harder than waiting on God? It's wishing you had waited on God. No matter how long the wait, it will be worth it because God's timing is perfect. We understand timing in other aspects of life. If you put cookies in the oven for 20 minutes, but take them out after 5, they're not ready. But when we can't see God working, we become impatient and try to take control, often making a mess because we don't see His plans. He is working, even if we can't see it. So, while we wait, we can either complicate things by taking matters into our own hands, or we can let the waiting build our character, produce fruit, and remind us that God is good, trustworthy, and His timing is best. Waiting has power. It's a time for becoming, evolving, developing, learning, growing, healing, maturing, gaining perspective, and wisdom. Your discernment sharpens. Many things happen while you wait, so you can't rush the process or maturity. Greatness doesn't happen overnight. Slow success builds character, while quick success builds ego. God knows what He's doing and is preparing you to handle the blessings safely. As you get older, it's not that challenges get easier, but that you get wiser and stronger. In the gym, the weights don't get lighter, you get stronger. That's what God does over time. He strengthens us. Over time, you don't notice the strength building until one day, what once was hard becomes manageable. Consider Ronald Wayne, one of Apple's co-founders. In the late 1970s, he grew impatient and sold his 10% stake in Apple for $800. Today, that stake would be worth $200 billion. This illustrates the power of waiting and having a long-term perspective. Don't trade your future for immediate relief. Maybe God's delays are because He has something bigger planned. I don't always know why God isn't on our schedule, but I do know that He loves you. You can trust Him, and you can continue to believe in Him in the meantime.